Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, I hope you're all well. So in this video we're going to be looking at a brand new plugin from Neural DSP. Neural DSP have brought us plugins like the Dark Glass Ultra series, which are the bass pedals. I use those all the time now when I'm recording bass, just find them really handy. Then we did the Fortin Nameless suite, which there's a video in the description box for that too. It's an amplifier from Fortin Amplification, and it's an absolute beast, high gain, like supercharged plexi amplifier, and I really enjoyed using that. And now we've got a brand new plugin from Neural DSP and Fortin Amplification, and that is the Fortin NTS suite. And this is based around the Natas amplifier, which is Satan backwards, which is cool. And basically it's just an awesome amplifier, full of gain, full of features, and I want to show you the plugin version from Neural DSP. So I've got it hooked up into Logic, and I'm spitting the plugin audio out into my universal audio and then back in so that I can record it and adjust the plugin. You can hear exactly what I'm doing. So I've got a screen grab as well, so let's jump across to the screen grab now. So this is Logic, as you can see. Here is the plugin, Bosch, and yeah, that's basically what it looks like on the front panel. It's a really nice looking. I just like the way they do the art for this plugin as well. So we've got the front panel of the amplifier, so let me just jump through the features real quick. So we'll start by looking at the front panel of the amplifier. What we've got is basically a 2-channel amplifier. Channel 1 is your gain channel, channel 2 is your clean channel. And the controls go as follows. We've got girth, grind, and gain, but it's cool because the G is 6 instead, and with it being called the Natas, the Satan backwards, 666, all that kind of stuff is cool. So we've got girth, which is the sort of the fatter, low-end saturated gain. Then you've got grind, which is your kind of mids, high mids, and high-end kind of gain. And then gain overall. So it's nice to be able to blend these three together and get the sort of overdrive distortion tones that you want, whether you want it to be fatter or thinner, X, Y, and Z, all that kind of stuff. Then we've got volume, bass, middle, and treble, and then we've got a little kill switch, which isn't kill switch like how you'd expect. It's more gain basically. Then we got channel 2 with gain, volume, bass, middle, and treble. So it's nice that they've got a dedicated EQ, and we've got a bright switch. So that's really handy because depending on your guitar you can throw in a bit of extra sparkle with that bright switch there. And then we've got the NTS master settings here. We've got depth, presence, and master. And then along the top we've got your input and your output. We've got a gate, which is sick. So if you are running really high gain, you can obviously control that with a gate. Then you've got mono and stereo mode, and then you've got oversampling, which is kind of like your resolution between normal and high. And then you can save your presets here, your output. And then top right, you can see we've got these 3 control icons, which are different elements of the plugin. So on the left, we've got the pedal that goes in front of the amplifier. So if you saw the Fortin Nameless suite, we had the grind pedal in front. Well, you'll be pleased to know we still have it, but then we have the addition of these 2 as well. So we've got the, I believe that's the Zool gate, and then we've got the hex drive, and then we've got the grind. And that's really cool because you've got way more options now of the kind of thing that you can dial in. So that's really handy. The hex drive, the overdrive, is actually really sick. I'll show you that in a moment. Grind, obviously, it tightens up the low end, pushes out the mids. So if you're using like a, I don't know, baritone or an H string or whatever, that's a really handy pedal to have in front. Then we got the amp again, and then we move to the cabinet section, which is just like the Fortin Nameless and also the Dark Glass plugin. What you've basically got here is your cabinet, and you've got 2 different mics to choose from that you can have dual or single miking with the on and off switch here. And what's also awesome is all the different mics. We've got 57s, 906, 421s, 184s, 160s, and 121s, all very popular mic models. And you can control the position of them, the blend of them. You can click and drag, move them around the speaker. I'm not going to do that just yet because I've got these in a nice spot. And you can also load in your own IRs as well. If you use your own speaker impulses, you can throw those in there as well. So it's really handy being able to have that at your disposal if you just have a, tried and tested go-to speaker impulse you want to use. So it's really cool, really comprehensive. It's really nice to have those features within a plugin, straightforward. So I like that. Anyway, how does it sound? Well, I'd seen on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and stuff like there's been some amazing videos already of this plugin, and one thing I hadn't seen was people doing stuff, well as high gain, doing something a little bit cleaner, a little bit more unconventional for this kind of amplifier. So I thought I would start by showing you how it sounds with my trusty Fender Stratocaster. This is the Custom Shop Artist Inspired 61. Love this thing. Anyway, so we're on the clean channel at the minute. We're on channel 2. Bright switch is in, and let's just hear how it sounds. The reverb you're going to hear is the Lexicon 224 plugin from Universal Audio. So here we go. Let me just turn the plugin on, and here we go. So that's the sound of the clean. It's sparkly. One thing I want to say is that, obviously, the digital world, clean is definitely one of the more challenging things to model. Like even with things like Kemper and Axe FX and plugins in general, the clean is just the thing that, to an experienced ear that really likes valve amplifiers, they're just going to go, yeah, that's digital. And it's really, really hard to do. Now, I must admit, I really do enjoy the sound of this clean channel. It does have a bit of a digital edge to it, of course. It is a plugin. And you're not getting that like large, warm swell in the room that you would through a speaker cab. Of course you're not, because it's, it's at home in a plugin. But, all that being said, when I'm playing it, it feels really nice. I think I knocked my guitar out of tune a tiny bit, but that's not the point. The point is that it sounds nice. It sounds good. And one thing I wanted to show you was that using the pedal area of this plugin through the clean with a Strat is just an awesome sound. So let's do that now. So if I jump across over here, I've got these three. Now, of course, this is a gate. This is kind of like a mid-boost, low-end tightener. So I'm talking more about the hex drive. It's just an overdrive. So let me show you what happens when you turn this beast on. Okay, so here is the clean without the hex drive in. And here it comes. mean, that was a bit ropey. I was just improvising, but man, does it sound cool. It's got that bluesy bite that I really like. Yes. Now, when I'm on the road, if I've got my laptop and my little interface and I want to write something, I could just plug this in, get that kind of tone from a plugin. Again, I just get excited because, you know, we can do high gain and it's great, and we can do, you know, cleans and stuff. But basically what I'm saying is it's a great sound, and, you know, really happy with the way it sounds. So again, that's just the clean channel with the hex drive in. It sounds great. Anywho, that's the way that the clean channel sounds. But of course, we are talking about a high gain amplifier named after Lucifer himself. So let's just not focus too heavily on the Strat, and let's move to something heavier. Before we move to something heavier, I thought I would show you the gain sound in standard tuning, because some of you will be playing in standard tuning, of course. So we may as well show you that now. So this is the sound, again, clean with humbuckers, but when we move across, here's the gain. So, it sounds good. I'm going to turn it up in the room. Yeah, this sounds killer. So let me show you the girth grind and the gain controls. Starting with what basically you need all of them in a bit to hear anything, but let's just do that just so you can hear a bit. So let's throw in the gain. Now as we throw girth in, not only does it add more gain, but it gives you a thicker low end. Now if we throw grind in, it's killer. It feels really, really good to play, really natural. So Now that you've heard it in standard tuning with the kind of leady thing, because it sounds sick, let's move over to something heavy. Cool, so I've got my ML3 beer baritone from Chapman Guitars, because it's a beast and it sounds great. And this is, you know, the lower the better, I guess. So this is it down in drop A. So here we go. It's worth saying I haven't changed the settings, but it sounds amazing already. So let's check it out with the girth and grind. Oh, it's just sounds really good. Let me just mess with it more. I'm just going to keep playing disgustingly sludgy stuff because it just sounds so ferocious. Anyway, let me show you some pedals. So I'm going to take the drive down on this and do a kind of max on vibes on this. So actually we'll start with the gate. So gate on. And that will obviously act faster the higher you turn it up. So that's cool. We'll leave it on, but lower. Just cause. Right, so here comes the hex drive. So that just sounds, it's just so good. There's more saturation, it's more intense, but it still retains clarity. And then we turn it back on. Oh, it's sick. Right, so grind, this is without. And then with. So that's quite intense, but you can just knock down some of the presence, boost the low end a bit actually, bring down the grind. Just insane. Yeah, it's so what I look for when I'm listening to overdriven tones from anything, an amp, a plug-in, a pedal, whatever, is chord definition through all the gain. So the fact I can go that just says to me, yeah, there you go. You can hear that chord definition, even with. Cool, so let's look at the cab now. I'm going to turn off one mic at a time so you can hear what they're doing. I've currently got a 121 on one speaker, and then I've got a condenser 184 on the other. So that's my low end and my high end, and I'm blending the two. So I'll take out the 184 for the start, and this is just how it sounds. So you can hear how low endy that is and how fierce. And then we've got the 184. So that's both together now. So I'm going to leave the ribbon where it is. And I'm going to move the 184 around. So let's try that with the ribbon. So let's move the ribbon around. And just for the sake of messing around, rather than going through everything, I'll show you a 906. So it's much less low endy than the 121. So this will probably sound quite MIDI now. So you get the idea. You can leave your settings on the amp the same, and you can even leave the mic position the same, but just change the mic for layering tracks and getting really three-dimensional guitar tracks to use in your recordings. I think that's, for me, single-handedly the best part about having virtual miking on a plugin like this, is just the flexibility to leave things where they are, but just change things so subtly that when you start to layer, you really hear the definition and the kind of the depth going on there. So yeah, super, super impressive. I really like this plugin. I mean, what I would say is that I suppose for me where it shines is the high gain stuff. The clean channel, it's good. It is good for a plugin. I will give it that. But again, we're always up against the challenge of trying to emulate that depth and that power that a real amplifier in a room on a clean channel has. but Neural have done a really good job. It was enjoyable to play with the Strat. It felt good, which was a really important thing. And the cool thing is when you threw on the overdrive, it sounded sick. So it's thumbs up from me. Generally speaking, I'm really impressed with the NTS suite from Fortin and Neural DSP. It just sounds really good. It's a plugin. It's on my computer. I can travel anywhere, have that kind of sound wherever I go. So I don't need to take huge pedal board. I don't need to take like a separate rig to write tunes or anything like that. I can use the clean channel and the overdrive channel in this and basically record on the road wherever I go. As well as, you know, there's plenty of other plugins out there. There's loads of plugins nowadays that do this kind of thing, but it's, you know, the few and far between when they really make you go like, ugh. And that does. So that's great. In any case, that has been the Fortin NTS suite for Neural DSP. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll link the plugin in everything else that you need to know in the description box. Like, subscribe and share. I've been Rabea and I will see you all very soon.